Uganda, the land of sunshine. Breathtaking, stunning sights, incredibly extensive large greenery. Variety of wild animals and bird species. A wide range of luxury holiday facilities. Diverse, rich culture. Home of beautiful, welcoming, hospitable people. Uganda, the Pearl of Africa.
Weekend on UBC.
Uganda is definitely rich and endowed when it comes to talent. Today on the show, I have an incredible songwriter. When I first heard her sound on radio, I was like, oh, is this really Ugandan?
Certainly, I come to see how the enemy lies inside.
I'm not one who believes that everyone's time is the same. Some people's time, you can spend a year in the industry and everything works out for you. Other people is 15. Time is not the same for everyone. Life experience is not the same for everyone. It really did take me a long time to speak and to read. I had learning difficulties. At a certain point, my mom thought I had dyslexia.
Now, we introduced a new thing that you guys are going to love. We brought what they call a hammam pillow of fame.
Brought to you by
Hammam Spa and Salon is located at Fairway Hotel. For bookings, contact us on 0414-671-775 or 0701-323-212. Hammam Spa and Salon, drift to serenity.
Hello, my name is Dr. Henry Dogu, a consultant in hematology and oncology. Health promotion and disease prevention programs focus on keeping people healthy. They aim to engage and empower individuals and communities to choose healthy behaviors and make changes that reduce the risk of developing chronic diseases and other illnesses. Join me on New Health Chat every Thursday at 9 p.m. on UBC TV, sponsored by National Medical Stores, who are mandated to procure, store and distribute essential medicines and medical supplies to all public health facilities in the country.
Juba Super Spellers is back with season 2.
My name is Gabriela.
Yes, we welcome you back from that talk show. Innocent Musinguzi hosted with his guest, Justin Kasule Lubumba, the Secretary General of the NRM. He will come with you. Michael Jordan Lukomwa with Muhammad Mugalu, who will be on your screen in just a few seconds. Let's have a look at the headlines as we start. In our top stories tonight, President Yoweri Museveni receives Leadership Award in fire guts Mukono industrial area, destroying property worth millions. Isimba dam contractor to quit over areas. Uganda short of cybersecurity professionals. While the national boxing team, the Bombers, head to come ahead of the Olympic qualifiers. A warm welcome once again. It's news tonight. In a first story, President Yoweri Museveni is the recipient of this year's African Leadership Peace Award in recognition for his efforts in the stabilization and transformation of Uganda. The award by the African Leadership magazine was bestowed on the president by the publication's publisher Dr. Ken Giami at a ceremony on Tuesday at the Royal Geographical Society in Kensington, London. Thanking the Pan-Africanist magazine for the honor, President Museveni said that he was humbled to receive the award, adding that Uganda's march to prosperity was unstoppable. In his address, the president paid tribute to his colleagues who died during the liberation struggle and led the audience in observing a moment of silence in their memory. President Museveni said that whereas Africa had missed out on the earlier industrial revolutions, its potential to succeed was immense if only leaders are able to properly diagnose what ails it and make correct prescriptions. Pointing out 10 strategic bottlenecks like ideological disorientation, market integration, and infrastructure, the president said that once they are tackled, Africa can be certain to succeed and prosper.
Of the Africa Leadership Magazine Dialogue, ALM 2020 in London. There is no doubt that the NRM, our political group, and its precursors, the precursors of the groups which we formed before, rescued Uganda from total collapse. That one is a fact. Statistically provable. There's nothing to beat about this, that the NRM rescued Uganda. And that can be statistically proven. We did it by a correct diagnosis. If you want to be a social or political actor, you should look at yourself as a medical doctor who is facing a patient. When a doctor has a patient, the first job and the most important job is the diagnosis. The first known black person to go to Uganda was an Arab man known as Ibrahim, who got to Uganda in 1841. Otherwise, our people had never seen a known black person. I do not know the original motivation of the Royal Geographical Society. However, that link up led to the opening up of Africa. I salute you and I commend you. Thank you very much.
From there, President Yoweri Museveni has returned in the country following his successful conclusion of a 6-day foreign trip to Togo and London, the British capital. The president, who was in Lome, capital of the West African nation of Togo, from the 17th to the 19th of January 2020, joined other heads of government there for the France-Africa summit that deliberated on issues pertaining to drug trafficking. and counterfeit medicines on the African continent. During the second day summit in Rome, President Museveni described the continued trafficking of counterfeit, substandard and falsified medicine and health products on the African continent as a crime against humanity and huge risk for countries all over the world. While in London for the inaugural UK Africa Summit, the President urged investors at the UK-Uganda Business Forum to report government officials who seek bribes, saying punitive action will be taken against those found guilty. Museveni was also the recipient of the African Leadership Peace Award in recognition of his efforts in the stabilization and transformation of Uganda. The President was received on arrival at Entebbe International Airport this evening by Presidency Minister Esther Mbayo and Head of Public Service John Mitala. Others at the airport to receive him included Assistant Inspector General of Police Andrew Sorowen, Lieutenant General Charles Luangalu Taya, Commander of the UPDF Air Force, and Mr. Moses Kakungulu, who is in charge of the corporate affairs in the Uganda Prison Service. Former President of the Forum for Democratic Change, retired Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye, has been arrested by the Jinja police at the source of the Nile as he was heading to Jinja to unveil his plans for 2020. According to police, Besigye's perceived plan to visit the Jinja collapsed structure would interfere with their investigations.
Have a lot of work. Since at 7 we are here being 10 here. Our work is just stop. We have our work out to do. We also move Alemon and we go and do what we are supposed to do.
Abadajja mu Jinja ku Busoga wano okwogerako eri abantu ba Eastern gaze okubabuulira enteekateeka za People's Government zetugenda okukola mu 2020.
Team outside abenga asobola okutuukiriza emirimu gyo by'okumobilizinga n'okwogera omuntu wa buliido kino kirikola tukivumiira nga
tukayosawo zino nti agenda kulaba ekizimbe ebigundi twabijjawo ebiwaju twabijjawo kati agenda kulaba ekiruwa naye n'ekirala okusinzira ku intelligence tumufuna amawulire nti waliyo mobilization gyali kukola ey'abaana okuleeta fuddo
amukkiriza okugenda ku kizimbe ate nga emirimu kyagenda mu maaso egya poliisi gy'okunoonyereza ekizimbe kyagwa kitya oba n'abantu bakyaliyo so ate okugenda okuteekawo olukungaana lwete tusobola mukkiriza.
That was today in Jinja. Meanwhile, fire has gutted factories in Mukono industrial area, destroying property worth millions of shillings. The infirmary is suspected to have been sparked off by charcoal stoves of restaurants that cook for business people around.
Small-scale manufacturers at Mukono industrial area are in shock after the destruction of their property by a fire that gutted their factories in the night. Machines that grind flour and poultry feeds plus timber equipment are among those that were destroyed. The cause of the fire has not yet been verified, but manufacturers suspect it was caused by restaurant operators around this area. The leadership of Mukono, led by Mayor Kajumo George Fred, have consoled the affected people for the loss. Member of Parliament Mukono, Honorable Namboze, has urged those who have lost property to write down their names so that she can devise ways of supporting them. I'm Nafka Farida.
Parliament has learned that the Isimba dam contractor has threatened to lay down his tools if government does not pay his arrears by Friday this week. This was disclosed by the Bunyore West legislator, James Waluswaka, who told Parliament that the contractor up to now has not received a penny from the Ministry of Finance. Before Parliament went for recess last December, Speaker Kadaga had directed the Ministry of Finance to clear the said arrears of 35 billion shillings, which directive has since not been respected. Parliament had also directed the Parliamentary Committee on Infrastructure to investigate the issues and report back.
The issue of Isimba Dam, I think, is almost reaching the climax. I got information that the contractor is laying down tools, Madam Speaker, on Friday. Reason is that Minister of Finance and the Minister of Energy had promised, after the alarm we raised in the Parliament, that continue, if they get a subcontractor, we shall pay you shortly. But up to now, the contractor has not received any money from the Ministry of Finance. So, my request to government, Madam Speaker, before the contractor lays down the tools before the contractor lays down tools on Friday, Madam Speaker, can the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Energy come now and tell the country, one, why they have not paid the contractor for the work he did, and why do they want him to construct a bridge when they have not given him the money?
This infrastructure is financed through external financing, and it is something that we can attend to this afternoon and make sure that there is no crisis on Friday. So as we sit, we are going to work with the Minister of Energy and see how we can manage it. We don't have the facts now, but we are going to check now. Thank you.
That's tomorrow. 20 days.
Yeah, we'll give you an update tomorrow.
Away from Parliament, the incoming Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Professor Ephraim Kamuntu, has assumed office with the awaiting responsibility to deconcentrate Court of Appeal and increase the number of judges. While handing over office, the outgoing Minister, retired Major General Kainda Otafire, reported the backlog awaiting his successor.
Justice and Constitutional Affairs, this is the Constitution.
Expanding the Court of Appeal to different regions of the country is among the backlog awaiting the new Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Professor Ephraim Kamuntu. The outgoing Minister, retired Major General Kainda Otafire, revealed the complexity of the ministry, including departments which require harmonization.
We are leaving the Human Rights Commission unfilled, but that's beyond your mandate to make nominations. You may want to make a few changes, but the appointment lies with the boss. So have a Court of Appeal in the east, one in the north, a section in the south, one in the center, and one for Kampala. Hoping that that would help
Otafiel also decried the ministry as understaffed.
The number of the High Court judges we have is dangerously inadequate. You can't have less than, no, actually the ideal, what they call ideal is 82. 82 is not even adequate. But we don't even have 82. We have about 56, 58. 58 now. Yes. 58 for a population of 44 million. That's a joke.
If you want to know, yes, as soon as I settle, I know it is a general concern for the whole government that you have understaffed departments within the ministry, within departments. But what cannot be denied is the execution of mandates of ministry is done by people, and the quality of people and the number of people you have critically determines the outcome of your performance. So, take it from me, we will address it.
The new Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Professor Ephraim Kamuntu, vows to deal with corrupt officials of the judiciary with sophisticated approaches.
Zero tolerance to corruption, regardless of instruments used to do so. If mobile money and fuel cards are new devices that have been put to corrupt, to steal, to cheat, the government must find countermeasures to catch those who are doing it. Particularly corrupting decision-making processes is the most retrogressive approach when you want to develop. That's why you end up with white elephants. Decisions are corrupted instead of objective, rational decision-making. They are corrupted. You can't make covering mobile money. We are also going to discover counter to catch them.
The retired Major Gen Kahinda Otafili has been the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs for 8 years. He was transferred to the Ministry of East African Community Affairs, whereas his successor, Professor Ephraim Kamuntu, has been the Minister of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities. Abdul Nasser Lubama and Lydia Chomukama for UBC News.
Professor Ephraim Kamuntu coming in there with all the vigor to fight corruption. Meanwhile, the National Resistance Movement will be commemorating the NRM Liberation Day of the 26th of January to mark 34 years since it came to power, and the ceremony will be held at St. George's Corps PTC Playground, Kagongo Division, Ibanda Municipality. The day to be marked under the theme celebrating the NRM National Resistance Army patriotic struggle that ushered in national unity and socio-economic transformation will be presided over by President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni as chief guest. He will also award a total of 95 medals to different distinguished personalities for their role in the liberation of the country. The Minister for Presidency, Esther Mbayo, addressed the media in Kampala about the upcoming event.
On the 26th of January 1986, the NRA captured power and a new chapter in Uganda's history was written. The 34th NRA Victory Day, therefore, is an emotional day for all children of the mother Uganda, whether living at home or abroad. We remember with gratitude the countless freedom fighters that struggled, strived, and made heroic sacrifices to win us our freedom from dictatorial regimes. For Uganda, the realization of our most cherished goal, the liberation of our country and the freedom of our people, is fitting tribute to the heroism and the tenacity with which our people fought for. The democratic milestone achieved since 1986, when the NRA came into power, are something to pride in. Free and fair and periodic elections are now a given in Uganda. The journey that began as a patriotic struggle of a few young men and women ushered in national unity and socio-economic transformation worthy celebrating. Under NRM, Uganda has walked the talk. This year's celebrations will be held under the theme Celebrating NRA is a patriotic struggle that ushered in national unity and socio-economic transformation. The national celebrations will take place at Ibanda Core PTC grounds, Ibanda district. General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, will be the guest of honor, and other very important guests are expected to join him to celebrate this day.
Ministry of Defense has requested Parliament for more time to enable the board instituted to investigate the alleged cases of torture by the army operating on water bodies to curb illegal fishing. The Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Kadaga, in December last year ordered the halt of UPDF operations on water bodies and tasked the sector minister to present a report on alleged cases of brutality and harassment of communities on the lake, especially Victoria.
In December last year, Parliament passed a motion to suspend all UPDF operations on all water bodies following several allegations of torture of fishermen. The resolution followed several complaints over UPDF brutality, especially on fishing sites.
This House directs that the operations of the Fisheries Protection Unit be voted with majority. That is never the contrary no.
Parliament also tasked the Minister of Defense to come up with a comprehensive report on the coexistence of UPDF soldiers and the fishing community, or complete withdrawal of the army from the water bodies. However, a month later, on resumption of Parliament, the Minister of Defense has still failed to present a report over the matter. The Minister of State for Defense, Charles Sengola, told the House that the Minister is still waiting for the results from the board, hence requesting for more time to present the required report.
Honorable Speaker, first of all, thank you for the ruling you made that day for the withdrawal of the troops from the water. However, the statements are not yet ready now because I'm making consultations on preparing to remove them. I'm good enough now.
Mr. Minister, the people can't even have Christmas. And is here saying thank you for your good ruling and saying they are not ready, Madam Speaker.
It should be noted that the debate on the army brutality against fishermen and water bodies across the country started way back with several petitions presented to Parliament by different sections of fishermen. This prompted Parliament to move a motion to suspend UPDF operations, which move was not respected by the concerned bodies. This, according to members of Parliament, is contempt of Parliament.
And you thought they were going to implement what you discussed. Nothing was implemented. It came to the institution that is supposed to make laws. We took a decision, unless there is another institution, Madam Speaker, that is responsible for making laws in this country, that can have UPDF get powers to say we can't leave the water bodies. This issue, we've talked long enough. I don't want to believe that the Commander-in-Chief doesn't know. He knows. He knows.
Nonetheless, the Speaker of Parliament has given Minister of Defense an ultimatum of 1 week to present the required report over the matter.
Right, Honorable Speaker, a board of inquiry which was constituted on this matter.
Honorable Minister, where is your statement? Where is your statement?
I don't have the statement here now, but because the board of inquiry has not yet finished their work. Honorable Speaker.
Order. Even that should have been written down and sent to the members. Order, Madam Speaker. You're not taking this so seriously.
All right, Honorable Speaker.
You're not taking this.
A deployment was made by the Commander-in-Chief. I do agree, and we are going to make sure that the head of government business in the Parliament comes here on Tuesday to make a final statement regarding this matter on Tuesday. Thank you.
On the alleged exportation of fish maw, the minister also requested for more time to present the information.
Inquiry is going on.
Honourable Minister, take your seat. Take your seat, please. Take your seat. Take your seat.
Well, we shall not give you 1 month. We are not going to give you 1 month. We shall not.
Procedure, Madam Speaker.
We want a serious answer from the government. We cannot give you 1 month.
Procedure, Madam Speaker.
This kind of thing cannot continue.
It should, however, be noted that the army deployment was an order by His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni in 2017, following an outcry by the fishermen over increased alleged illegal fishing on water bodies. Susan Naonga reporting for UBC TV.
Interesting one from Parliament there. A 2.5-year-old boy has been allegedly dumped in a pit latrine by his biological father in Nyamasa village, Kagadi district. The suspect was arrested and taken to Kagadi police station over this incident that was attributed to domestic violence. We'll have that story in our subsequent bulletins. But moving on, in a bid to reduce the infant mortality rate in districts of Masaka region, the district health officers in Rakai and Chochera have have advised pregnant mothers against using unprofessional personnel. This follows a report by district health officers reflecting a large number of expectant mothers skipping antenatal services.
The campaign to reduce the mortality rate of infants in the districts of Masaka region has been launched at Masters Care Community Hospital in Nabigasa sub-county in Chotera district. Mothers have been trained on balanced diets and also urged to be vigilant in attending antenatal services in hospitals.
There's chaos in the home, there's disease, and many of our malnourished babies come in. They're not just malnourished, but they also have malaria, they have typhoid, they have all sorts of things because they're very frail. And so they get a lot of illnesses. So I see that we've made great strides in the community. There's still a long way to go. We go out into the distant villages and we still see a lot of malnutrition.
Dr. Emmanuel Rugwana, Superintendent of Master Care's Hospital, says ignorance and the lack of proper health utilities endangers their lives and babies.
To overcome that complication, we have decided to call all the mothers. We have invited them. They have come, they have turned up. We have trained them. We have given them enough health education. We are giving them mama kit. We are doing free ultrasound scan on them. And also
District Health Officer Chotea District Edward Mwanga urged mothers to avoid giving birth with the aid of traditional birth attendants.
There is a lot of people that have been conducting deliveries, yet they are not authorized. As a district, we've tried to fight this vice, but still our mothers have been going to them. So we saw it necessary to call upon them and educate them why it is important for them to deliver with skilled birth attendants.
This comes after government's ban on the practice by traditional birth attendants in 2010. In vain, Chairman LC5 Chotea District Patrick Kisekulo challenged husbands to nurse their wives during antenatal care.
So disappointed to see that of all women who are here like 800, we have only had one couple. So it is upon us to go back to our community to sensitize the men so that wherever there is need, at least they should accompany their women hospitals.
This report was compiled by Sebira Andrew for UBC News.
Operation Wealth Creation is coordinating all government ministries, departments and agencies to unveil unique investment opportunities in every region of Uganda to local and international investors to transform subsistence farmers into the money economy. Operation Wealth Creation presents the Renzori Investment Expo, scheduled for the 30th to 31st of January 2020 at Mountains of the Moon University, Fort Portal City. Theme: Investment for Local Economic Development. This expo is one of the many regional investment expos anchored on agro-industrialization for local economic development, agri-led program, and will be held countrywide. Come explore investment opportunities in the Renzori region, from mining, tourism, agriculture, and many more. The guest of honor will be His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda. For more information, contact National Organizing Committee
That's my little angel Rose. Together with millions of other children, my daughter Rose is assured of learning something new every day. Moses, my husband, just like many other commercial farmers, has his business supported so he can provide for us. When my other little one was on the way, even with my pregnancy complications, it was a quick, smooth ride to Mulago Specialized Women and Neonatal Hospital. Also, my new baby was able to make it through his first days with the help of specialized equipment thanks to the reliable electricity which has also been extended throughout the country. All this and more has been made possible because of you.
Join us and together let's do more for our country. Get your free tin at www.ura.go.ug.
Thank you for paying your taxes.
Uganda Revenue Authority. Developing Uganda together.
Hi, I'm TJ Drogba. On average, almost 250,000 people die on the road in Africa each year. As a proud African, this breaks my heart knowing that so many deaths could have been avoided. So when you're on the road, follow these safe steps and help save lives. The numbers don't lie. Seatbelts save lives. Drivers and passengers must always wear a seatbelt. Passengers who don't wear seatbelts are a danger to themselves and others. In a crash, they can be thrown around the car, causing serious injury. Ensure children are safely fastened in car seats suitable for the size and weight. And keep small children out of the front seat. So when you're on the road, follow these safe steps and help save lives. We all have a role to play in road safety. Together, let's make Africa's road safer.
Welcome to the Equal Opportunities Commission, an independent statutory body that works towards ensuring that all forms of discrimination, marginalization, and unfair treatment are eliminated. The Equal Opportunities Commission has power of court and can enforce its decisions. It is established and supported by the government of Uganda. It also garners support from development partners, civil society, the private sector, faith-based, and cultural organizations. Visit the Equal Opportunities Commission today, the home of equal opportunities for all. Or call us on our toll-free line 0800 100 440. This message is brought to you by the Equal Opportunities Commission with support from the United Nations Human Rights Office.
Straight to business news tonight. Tourism stakeholders from the public and the private sector have launched the first of its kind Sese Festival 2020. Slated for the 9th to the 12th of April, the festival is aimed at positioning the Sese Islands among Uganda's best and untapped tourism attractions.
Sese Island will this year host the inaugural Sese Festival 2020. The tourism initiative by the public and private tourism stakeholders is geared at showcasing the island's niche in tourism. Although the island prides in having some of the best tourism attractions in the country, it has fallen short of attracting significant numbers of visitors all year round.
For a culture of Uganda's culture, where people only wait for December to get a break, so this alone will bring another experience for Ugandans to move away from work and home. So that is one of the reasons why we chose Easter.
But now we're helping the people understand that when more visitors come to the island, it is not the government to make the money. It is them to make the money. So if it is you who's going to make the money, why wait for government to market your asset?
An investor and politician, Honorable Ruth Kavuma, believes in the potential of Sese Island, especially Bugala, the biggest and most developed. The island has potential to rival some of the most popular tourism destinations in the region, such as Mombasa in Kenya.
People go for their honeymoon, now I'm just saying honeymoon, to Mombasa. And when they go to Mombasa, they go, what do they go for? The beach. And when they get to the beach, in Mombasa, they are looking at a beach that has salty water. When we go to Sese Islands, you are going to a white sand beach that has fresh water, very nice scenery around, like the forest and all that added together. As brief as that.
Her sentiments are re-echoed by Professor John Kawogoza, the proprietor of Mirembe Beach Resort Hotel in Bugala Island.
When we first moved to Karangala in the 2004, we were getting more Mzungus as tourists, especially on the festive days of Christmas and Easter. But now it's almost 95% Uganda, which is very encouraging. So the Ugandans have come to appreciate holiday and they come with the families, which is good.
Slated for the Easter weekend, the Sese Festival 2020 will feature activities such as bird watching, forest treks, island cycling, water sports and culture gala, among others. Penina Nahwera, UBC News.
The small and medium-sized enterprises in Uganda are pessimistic and expecting business decline of about 3.5% in the first quarter of 2020. While releasing the findings, the Executive Director, Federation of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Uganda, John Warugembe, expressed the anticipated slowdown in the growth of private sector credit due to increased domestic borrowing by government.
Based on the findings by the Federation of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, around 83 of the respondents expect sales and profits to decrease in the first quarter of 2020 due to subdued demand and competing priorities.
People have less money. They spent a lot over the Christmas break, and there are also competing priorities like school fees payments and so on. 11% expect sales and profits to remain unchanged, while 6% expect sales to increase.
The unpredictable weather condition is responsible to food inflation and is to blame for the low optimism on this parameter.
For some sectors have been really hit hard by the hard economic times, and it's true that some businesses close. Now, the reason we give this meter is to go and tell government, look, this is what people feel. How can we ensure that maybe in the next quarter or in the budget or whatever, you try to address these issues.
It is observed that one of the 6 index components posted growth to remain unchanged, while 3 declined, which implies low optimism in the performance of SMEs in the first quarter of 2020.
61.2% expect their order book position to reduce. So when we're talking about, order book position is related to the issue of sales. How many new orders do you expect in this quarter? So you may know, some orders may not necessarily translate into sales. That's why we have different parameters. But still it's an indicator. If people order a lot, then because some orders may not, as I said, translate into sales for various reasons.
An expectation of subdued overall economic growth this quarter is partly due to global and regional challenges like US-China trade war, East African community trade tensions, among others. Abdul Nasir Luwama for UBC News.
A 2019 report by Standard Chartered Bank indicates that 70% of companies in Uganda are short of professional talent in cyber security. With more African companies adopting technology within their modes of operation, it is becoming a major concern to protect a company's online data, especially within the banking sector.
The Uganda Bankers Association has convened its members to share updates on mitigating the risks of cyber attacks based on international trends.
There's a new advent of risk, which we need to scope, to understand and ensure that we have solid risk management framework around. And that risk is cyber risk. So today we are gathered under the umbrella of UBA with Standard Chartered Bank sponsoring resources to review and reflect on the risk management of cyber risks.
Between 2018 to 2019, Tesco Bank, Technimont and Abanka Bank experienced some of the worst cyber attacks on the global scene. This sparked the institutionalization of various cyber-related policies, including Uganda.
Last year, it was 2018, 2019, we
went through enactment of a law, the Private Personal Data Act, which is intended to ensure that the data gives us guidelines on how we should store data, how we can access it, who should access it, and also is able to guide us on how wrongdoers could be handled.
The report by Standard Chartered Bank also indicates that there are only 400 skilled personnel in Uganda handling cybercrime.
I think it should start with the board of directors of the bank or any organization to say we want to make cybersecurity an agenda by first having it on the agenda, by talking about it in the room, by bringing experts who can brief them and educate them on what cybersecurity means, even giving them an idea of the common trends that are going on within the organization, within the country that can impact the industry that they work in. By doing that, it will now set the tone for executive management, for people leaders, middle management to now follow the trend and taking ICS very seriously.
Digital information facilitates production, plays a key role in decision making and record keeping. This has put to task policymakers and regulators to be alert of new digital trends so as to avoid dire effects of cyber attacks. Wadilo Mark-Arnold for UBC News.
The annual export conference has been held in Kampala to streamline ways of how manufacturers in Uganda can be supported to improve on their exports. Among the key recommendations is to recapitalize UDC and as well support local investors to do business.
Business is one sector that has potential to partly address the issue of unemployment. However, to fast-track the effectiveness of direct and indirect creation of jobs, it is high time more investment is done in the industrial sector.
We're exporting about 23% of our goods manufactured. But even what we are calling manufactured goods here, there are a lot of questions about it. They are really not manufactured, it's just processing, primary processing, value addition. But when we talk of real manufacturing, like transforming a raw material into a finished product, we are still doing very badly on that front.
Because we export goods worth $714 million to Kenya and import $517 from Kenya. So that shows we have actually exceeded the trade volumes.
Business proprietors argue that there is lack of clear strategy for industry and support to local investors.
We want to see how we support them on branding, on general marketing, on hand-holding them to the market, and this is Uganda Export Promotions Board support.
By 2040, Uganda is projected to export 50% of its services, but possible interventions are key to achieve this objective. There is need to capitalize UDB, UDC, and as well increasing funds to Uganda Export Promotions Board, WOBOS, and UIA.
Government was using Uganda Development Corporation to invest. Now that it is back, it needs full support. By giving it that capitation, which government talked about, they need to capitalize it by about 500 billion. To me, it's peanuts, but it would be a good beginning if they got it lump sum and gave it to them.
The good news, however, is that by Uganda being Uganda supports industrial policy, there is increased commitment from the private sector, improved infrastructure, and relatively stable political environment. Sandra Kaunde-Gaba, UBC Business.
And now welcome to Sports News Tonight. 13 boxers who qualify to represent Uganda at the upcoming Olympic Qualifier Championships are slated for the 16th of February this year in Senegal, Dakar. Wednesday entered camp in Luzira. This was unveiled during a press briefing held at the Uganda Boxing Federation offices in Lugogo.
8 male and 5 female boxers have this time round been beefed up with 13 more boxers who will help the already qualified boxers as training partners during the intense training drills. Moses Muhanji, Uganda Boxing Federation president, says the aspiring partners will help to boost the boxers' momentum while polishing tactics, as he explains.
The Bombers team is comprised of 26 boxers. The 13 boxers are the main boxers, and the other 13 are the reserve boxers. Reserve means you're going to come to the camp to support the other main boxer to train better. You come as a sparring partner, and if maybe in unlikely circumstances something happens to the main boxer, then also the reserve can be given a chance to come and represent us.
The team has been beefed up with 8 technical coaching staff to take the boxers through their paces ahead of the tough challenge.
But nevertheless, we are going to start ours. We have about 25 days to go, and we hope to do the best that we can. We have a strong coaching team that's going to be headed by Coach Ilianda, and he's the entire team of about 8 coaches, so that we can give the best that we can for this team.
He attributes the delay to take on the Bombers earlier into camp to financial constraints, thus requesting National Council of Sports to fulfill the 500 million Uganda shillings pledge for the preparations.
This money has not yet hit our account. We are waiting for the money to come through, but we have gotten strong commitment from the government, from National Council of Sports, that they will support us with that kind of money to help the team prepare and be able to go for the competitions. So I'm happy for this kind of support from the government. This shows that at least the organization has improved, and they are willing to work with us as a federation. As much as we can provide the technical support for the team, but we always need resources, and now the guy that has come on board, we are very excited about it.
Super heavy, Geko Solomon, heavyweight Wambale Alex, middleweight Samuju David, welterweight Bombers captain Shedil Musa are some of the male Bombers, while in the women's category, middleweight has Nasali Dorin, welterweight Nakalema Emily, lightweight Amogen Rebecca, featherweight is represented by Akelo Susan, as well as Nancy Catherine in flyweight. Boxing is one of Uganda's most decorated sports. For UBC, Helen Barbara, Gizamba.
The Africa World Cup qualifier draws put Uganda in the same group with Mali, neighbors Kenya and Rwanda. All the teams will face off in home and away games to determine who tops the group that will later qualify to the next level.
Have been held Tuesday night, and Uganda was pitted in the same group with Mali, Kenya and Rwanda. These will be played over 6 match days from the 23rd of March 2020 to 12th October 2021 as a roadmap for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, where a total of 5 slots in the final tournament are available for CAF teams. Uganda will be seeking to top the group and qualify for the next round, where all the 10 group winners will be drawn into 5 two-legged knockout series to be played in November 2021. Cranes tactician Jonathan McKinstry believes it's not an easy group.
Well, Mali are a very interesting opponent. I think people might naturally look and say, okay, out of the top 10 teams in Africa, they're ranked 9th, and sort of think, okay, they're sort of one of the lower ranked top seed we could have got. But Mali are unpredictable, because if you look at their junior sides, they won AFCON under 17 in 2017 and 2015. They then won the 2019 AFCON U20, and so they've got a very talented young team. Now, when you've got young players, consistency, unpredictability, these are all things that you expect with a young team, but we have to go into them with a lot of focus. On a footballing level, obviously Uganda in recent years has done better than really professional performances, and also that the supporters get behind us, and not just it's great for
African giants Cameroon and Ivory Coast. Group F has Egypt, Gabon, Libya and Angola, while neighbors Tanzania and DR Congo are in Group J alongside Benin and Madagascar.
Serena Williams said she was frustrated by her own form as she overcame Slovenian Tamara Zidansek with a patchy performance to reach the third round. The 38-year-old American, bidding for a record equaling 24th Grand Slam title, won 6-2, 6-3 in 78 minutes. However, Williams squandered 0-40 leads in successive Zidansek's second set service games before pulling clear. The 8th seed will next face China's 27th seed Wang Qiang, who was crushed by Williams at September's US Open. Wang froze as she lost in 44 minutes on her maiden Grand Slam quarterfinal appearance and will be hoping to put up a better fight in Melbourne on Friday. Williams again looks in menacing form. However, victory over 22-year-old Zidansek was a 7th straight win for Williams, who claimed the Auckland title earlier this month. News Tonight ends that way. Let's have a look again at the top stories we had and wish you a good night. In what we had for you tonight, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has received the Leadership Award in London. Fire gutted Mukono industrial area, destroying property worth millions. The Simba Dam contractor threatens to quit over areas, while Uganda short of cybersecurity professionals as bombers in sport head to camp ahead of the Olympic qualifiers. Wholeheartedly, we thank you so much for watching UBC TV and our news. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa with Mohammed Mugabi and the whole team here. We wish you the best of the night. Let's get back to you through our other programs. Keep watching.
A designer, a chef, a travel agent, and a caterer will compete in the place we all know and love, the kitchen. For the grand prize of 1 million shillings, they will need every skill, every
We don't
tip,
cut Nakati with a chopping board in Uganda.
and every advantage.
My husband taught me this.
But if you can't take the hit,
I'm not worried about the food.
wait at the table.
I can be what I want to be. I can be a president if I want to be a president.